If you're a Nissan owner and you've seen the code P1550, it might seem like a bit of a mystery. But don't worry, you are absolutely in the right place. We are going to crack this code together and figure out exactly what your car is trying to tell you.
You know the feeling. We've all been there. You're just driving along, minding your own business, and then, bam, that little orange engine icon lights up your dashboard. It's that universal symbol for, well, my day just got more complicated. But hey, don't panic. That light isn't a final verdict. It's just a message.
And today, the specific message we're decoding is P1550. It's a diagnostic trouble code, and trust me, by the end of this, you'll know exactly what it means and, more importantly, what to do about it.
So, what is this P1550 code really trying to tell you? Let's get right to the source of the message, which all starts with your car's brain.
Okay, let me introduce you to the Engine Control Module, or ECM for short. Seriously, think of this thing as the central command center for your entire engine. It's the boss. It's constantly juggling hundreds of signals to keep everything running smoothly.
So, when you see a P1550 code, it's basically a general alert coming straight from the boss. The ECM is telling you it's found a problem somewhere in the vehicle's electrical system. Think of it this way. It's not pointing to a specific house, but it is telling you which neighborhood the problem lives in. Our job now is to find the right address.
All right, now that we know the neighborhood we're searching in, it's time to round up the usual suspects. So, what kinds of things could actually be triggering this code?
The potential causes usually fall into one of three main camps. First up, you've got your faulty components. We're talking about parts like your spark plugs or ignition coils, the things that create this spark that makes your engine go. They work hard, and sometimes they just wear out. Second, you have wiring issues. Think of this as the car's nervous system. It could be anything from a simple loose connection to a bad ground wire messing with the flow of electricity. And finally, although it's less common, the ECM itself could be the source of the trouble.
Okay, so we have our list of suspects, but how do we pinpoint the real culprit without just randomly replacing parts? You need a game plan, so let's walk through the logical steps to investigate this code the right way.
Look, a smart diagnosis always starts with the simplest and most common issues first. Before you even think about buying new parts, just use your eyes. Look at the wiring. Check for anything that's cracked, corroded, or just plain loose. If the wiring all looks good, then you can move on to testing the components, like the ignition coils. The ECM? That's the last thing you check, because frankly, the problem is often way simpler and cheaper to fix.
And here is a super important piece of advice. This is not the time to guess. Every car is a little different, so you really need to follow the manufacturer's specific diagnostic steps for your model. Why? Because a wrong diagnosis can easily turn a simple fix into a much bigger, more expensive headache. It's all about working smart, not hard.
Once you've successfully figured out the cause, believe me, the hardest part is over. Now, let's talk about the path to getting that check engine light to turn off and stay off. You know, the beautiful thing about a proper diagnosis is that the repair becomes crystal clear. Your solution will line up perfectly with the problem you found. If it was a bad wire, you fix the wire. If it was a worn-out spark plug, you replace the spark plug. This is why that investigation is so key. It means you're fixing the actual problem instead of just throwing parts at your car and hoping for the best. No more guessing.
And just like with the diagnosis, being precise during the repair is everything. Following those official procedures, using the right tools, the correct parts, it just ensures the job is done right the first time and prevents you from accidentally creating a whole new problem.
Okay, we've covered the what, the why, and the how. So let's boil all of this down into one clear, final takeaway that you can actually act on. Ultimately, you have a choice here. Ignoring this code is a real gamble. It can lead to poor performance, bad fuel economy, and maybe even more serious damage down the road. But addressing it now, that means making sure your car runs safely and catching a small issue before it snowballs into a giant, expensive one. When you lay it out like that, the choice is pretty clear, isn't it?
So, the bottom line is this. Taking care of the P1550 code isn't just about making an annoying light go away. It's about maintaining the health of your vehicle and, most importantly, keeping you and your passengers safe on the road. So you're not in the dark anymore. You get what the P1550 code means, you know the potential causes, and you know how to start investigating. The question isn't, what is this anymore? The real question is, what are you going to do about it? What's your next move?